Welcome to the Freelance Thrive. Here we talk with skilled freelancers about their professional journey. Stay tuned for real-life experiences to learn and actionable steps to take to improve your freelancing career. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Code Control and 9am.works. And my guest is Dunja Reiber, an experienced freelance content strategist who loves talking about and helping freelancers on crucial topics such as defining your offer, finding clients, structuring daily workflow, and all freelance work-related stuff that makes your freelancing life easier. So, welcome, Dunja.
Thank you so much, Yuri. I'm glad to be here.
We are working together, and I'm happy to have you as a guest today. So, the first question, what is content marketing?
Yeah, content marketing is a special type of marketing that is focusing on content, like the name tells us already. Content can be anything from blog articles to videos, webinars, podcasts, white papers. So there's a lot you can do with content marketing. And your goal is to provide relevant content to your target audience and to show that you're an expert in that field. For example, an insurance company could, a traditional approach in marketing could be to run ads saying we have great car insurance, get it now. And in content marketing, you would try to write articles, guides about how to decide on the best car insurance. What do you need? Is there a checklist? Maybe even some other car-related legal topics. So anything that someone who would be interested in car insurance would find relevant and would also search for on Google. So content marketing is often connected to SEO, search engine optimization, where you try to answer the questions that people type in Google on your website, in your articles, for example, and then people will find you, will go to your website. And once they are there and they find your relevant content and they find it helpful, they might also notice that you offer car insurance yourself, that you could be a great provider for them. So it's a bit more indirect. It's not like running ads, like shouting at people, buy the product. But yeah, just by being relevant, you try to reach your target audience. It's one branch that you can use in marketing. I'm not saying it's the only one, it's the best one. I think it's a combination. You can also run ads. You can also do different things.
Yeah.
Maybe even put up posters somewhere. So you can do anything, but content marketing has become an increasingly relevant part over the past few years.
So if you are talking about an insurance company, they definitely have a SEO expert, they have a content writer, they have like maybe a podcast host. But if we are talking about a freelancer, about one person who has to do everything, how can a freelancer benefit from it?
Yeah, it's definitely different. So yeah, as you said, you won't have the resources to build a big content machine and to put out tons of content every week. That's definitely true. But I still think it can be worth it. Maybe first, what are the benefits of content marketing for a freelancer? You can, as the insurance company in the example you can also position yourself as an expert. You can show that you have the knowledge, that you have the relevant expertise, for example. You can be found by clients instead of maybe reaching out to them. So they might come across your podcast, they might come across something you have written somewhere. So they find you and they reach out to you. You can also convince them more easily, because if you have this great expertise and you show that you have the knowledge, they might be more willing to hire you, and they might be willing to pay higher fees because they think you have I'm hiring this expert and not just any person who can do the job. So that's definitely something that can be worth it, even though it takes some effort, definitely. So I think one thing that is very crucial is your positioning as a freelancer. That you know what you want to offer and what your main focus, your expertise is. For example, if you are a content writer and you just say, I'm a content writer, I write anything. I write ads, I write long articles, I write white papers on any topic. You might think that you have a great offer for everyone, but often if your offer is for everyone, it is for no one, right? So
Yeah.
that's a saying. So you won't really appeal to specific people with your offer, but they will just think, okay, this person does anything. I don't know how good are they really. Um, so the positioning is really important, and that's the first step. Otherwise, you can't do content, because about what would you do content if you don't really know what you offer, what your main area of expertise is, and by what clients you want to be found. So that's definitely very important, and then it can be really beneficial for a freelancer.
Yeah, yeah. We had one of previous episodes with Slobodan, and he has like a lot of followers on LinkedIn, and he has a great YouTube channel. And I asked him like, why do you do this? How is it helpful in your freelance life? And he was like, you know, I just don't go to technical interviews because people see what I can do, and like I'm
Exactly.
just receiving projects, I'm just working on them. So,
Yeah.
but he is okay. He has experience. He were doing it for 2 or 3 years so far. And for somebody who's just starting, what is the easiest way to start creating valuable content?
Yeah, really good question. So, first of all, it depends a lot on your personality, what type of content you want to do. So, for one person, it might be easy to start a blog because they write all the time. For others, they are really talkative. They might want to start a podcast or record videos for YouTube. So, you should always go with, yeah, your personality, with what you like best, with what you enjoy doing and what's easy for you. So, that's the first thing. But if you don't have a lot of time and you don't really know where to start, I think LinkedIn can be a great way, as you also mentioned in the example with your previous guest. On LinkedIn, you can just start any minute. You can write something, and of course, LinkedIn is social media, so you could say isn't it social media marketing, but it's very content based on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. You write articles mainly, articles or long form posts. So there's a lot you can do. And it doesn't take as long as writing an article or as organizing and creating a podcast. So it can be a great first step to get to know your audience, to build a following as well, to find out which topics can be relevant for your followers, for your target audience. And then if you are active on LinkedIn, if you post regularly, then you can build something out of that. You can say, okay, I turned some of my most successful posts, I turn them into blog posts, or I create a podcast episode around the topic because I already know that people are interested in that.
Mhm.
So I think that's a great way to build this. And with other forms of content marketing, you have to be aware that it takes some time, right? If you start your blog, even if you are good at SEO, you won't have a ranking on the first page of Google with all your articles right away. It first they have to get picked up, they have to get indexed, then Google has to realize that it's relevant content, and then slowly you build your success there. And with a podcast, it's the same. You won't have millions of listeners in the beginning. You just have to start at some point, and then you will get maybe more interesting guests, more well-known guests at some point, and then it will slowly pick up and people will start to follow you. But you shouldn't be too disappointed if you do it for 4 weeks and you don't have the best results.
Exactly. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. And sometimes, like from my perspective, sometimes like creating content sounds like you are screaming into the void. And there are not that many likes, not that many like views and all the stuff. But it's funny, but even on the post that like with, I don't know, 2 or 3 likes, sometimes people keep writing, keep sending personal messages. So what I noticed that like likes and comments are not always the best measurement
Mhm.
of what people see and what people read.
Yeah.
Like most of the times they just read, they just what, but they give no reactions. So how to, from your experience, how to make sure that the content you create is not just something that you and your family reads, but also somebody else? How to promote the content you create?
Yeah. Um, so I think it's very important, as I mentioned, to have this positioning that you know what you want to offer and connected to that, who your target audience is. And then to make sure that your content is relevant for them. So if you just start a podcast or a blog about a topic that is interesting to you, yeah, but it's maybe not relevant for your target audience, then you might get some people who like it and who are interested, but they are not, they won't become your clients, right? So it's really important to see, for example, if you often take this writer example because that's what I do myself. But if you are a writer specializing in software companies as clients, you might think, okay, CEOs or HR people in software companies or marketing people there, what are they interested in? What do they want to read or to listen to? So that's the first step, and then create that content about these topics. And then to make sure it has a marketing effect, I also think it's important to connect it to your offer. So not just have a podcast or have a blog, but say always in each episode or each article, somehow include what you do, how you can help people. For example, if you do an intro in your podcast, you can always say, I'm a freelancer, I've been a freelancer for 5 years, I'm doing this and that. And then at the end of an episode, you could also say, and whenever I can help you with anything around these topics, which are your focus topics, reach out to me on LinkedIn or go to my website. And it's not too salesy. It's just
Mm,
letting people know that you have something to offer. So that's always helpful, I think.
totally. And you told about finding what your target audience is interested in, what CEOs and all other people are interested in. How to do that?
Yeah. Different things you can do. So if you are close to your target audience, if maybe you have worked as a marketing manager in a software company before, or you know someone, you can always, yeah, consider yourself, and you can put yourself in that position and think, what would I be interested in if I was in that if I was in that position? If that's really hard for you because you don't have experience and you don't know anyone, you can try to reach out to people as well. You can do some interviews, right? You can schedule 15-minute calls with people from your LinkedIn network and ask them, what would you be interested in content wise, and would you like to to learn more about something a freelancer has to offer in that field, for example. And then you can create this or personas that are often used in marketing, that you say, the average person from my target audience, how old are they, what do they like, what do they not like, what are they interested in, and so on. And you can just get the feeling for this person and then write for them.
Yeah, you were just talking. I was like creating this content strategies that you can reach out to CEOs and tell that you are recording a podcast about what CEOs are interested in. Then you
Yes.
interview them, like you use it as a podcast. Then you use they're interested and create one more podcast and one more. So like you can
That's a
create a
great strategy. Yeah.
content machine, at the end of the day.
Wow, perfect. And then you can also repurpose that. You can make blog posts out of that, like transcripts. You can use those on LinkedIn. So yeah, repurposing is also great. If you have a blog, consider maybe putting a blog post, dividing it in snippets and using them on LinkedIn, for example, or combining several blog posts to create a white paper, or creating a blog post out of podcast episodes, because you just need to create a transcript and make some edits, but then people can also see it in written form. So that's also a great way to use the content that you have on several platforms and levels.
But also content creation is so much time consuming thing. So
Yes.
what tools do you use to help you?
Okay, yeah, you're right. So, first of all, if it's absolutely not your thing, you shouldn't force yourself to do it, right? So maybe it's not the perfect form of marketing for you as a freelancer. So never just say, yeah, I heard somewhere that it's great to have my own podcast or to have my own blog, and now I have to do it, because then it will, yeah, as you said, you will just see it as a time-consuming activity, and you won't enjoy it, and you probably won't be very successful with it. So that's the first thing. Always make sure that it's something, or you find something about it that you enjoy. And in terms of tools, for example, if you're a writer, you can use keyword research tools to find
Mhm.
out what people are interested in. So you can find these topics more quickly. So that's one thing. Or probably, so I'm not a podcaster, you will know more about that, but you can use tools to create transcripts, for example, based on the podcast episodes that you do. So yeah, it just depends on what you do, and then you will find the right tool that can help you.
Yeah, if we're talking about podcasting, it's definitely Descript. It's something that I recently opened, and it's like great tool. It's
Yeah,
easy
it's
and it
nice.
works, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And what is your approach to content creation?
Yeah, so for me, as I mentioned, it's mostly about writing. So my approach would be to have the target audience defined, to somehow know what kind of people am I writing for, and to connect it also to my client's offer, or if I write something for myself, of course, to my offer, what I want to what I want people to know about,
Hmm.
and then try to come up with topic ideas and verify them with keyword research. So to use a tool, I type some phrases that I think can be interesting, or that people will search for them on Google, and then I can verify that and see how many people search for which phrases.
Mhm.
Um, and that way I notice if a topic is relevant or not. Sometimes it's surprising. Sometimes you think probably a lot of people are interested in that topic, and then you use your tool and you find out that it's not really the case. Maybe it's just me who's interested in that. And sometimes the other way around. Sometimes you try to find something and realize that hundreds of people each month, or even thousands, are looking specifically for this topic. So it's always sometimes a surprise as well. And then I define topics and do some research and write an article or another form of content, maybe a white paper, even if that's the task.
Got it. You know, Dunia, I wish to have the sky's the limit, but time is the limit to our conversation. So the final question, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Probably sushi. I discovered it a few years ago, actually. So not I wasn't one of the early adopters of sushi, because at first I thought I don't like fish that much, but when I tried it for the first time, I really liked it. And yeah, I often just when I go to have dinner somewhere, I often decide on sushi.
Did you like it from the first sight?
Yes. So when I tried it, I really liked it immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just asking because we had a fun story with my wife that we ate sushi for the first time and then like, it's not enough. Let's have a hamburger. It was so fun. But
Yeah.
since that, yeah, we also love sushi.
Yeah, and you just have to eat more sushi. So if it's not enough, then just order more.
Totally. So yeah, Dunya, thank you so much for sharing your experience. And it's
Thank
been such a
you.
pleasure to hear and learn from you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was great. Thank you.
And thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, hit the like button or 5 stars and share it with your friends. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.